Arata Kaizaki, a 27-year-old man, is unable to find stable employment. One night, he meets Ryou Yoake of the ReLife Laboratory, who invites him to join the ReLife project. Arata agrees and soon discovers ReLife entails him taking a pill that causes him to revert to his 17th year of high school and enroll as a third-year student at Aoba High School. He meets classmates Kazuomi Oga, Rina Karyu, and Onoya, Chizuru Hashiro, and Ryo, who have also taken the medicine to help Kaizaki while he is still in school. Ryo explains to Arata that ReLife allows him to relive his youth in order to change his current self. Arata's ReLife adventure begins from there. Arata gets to know his classmates Kazuomi, and Rina, who sit next to him. Rina's competitive nature is revealed, as is her disappointment at losing the position of class representative to fellow classmate Chizuru. Arata formally meets Chizuru over lunch, but her direct and to-the-point approach throws him off guard. Chizuru tells Arata that she is socially awkward, does not understand people, and does not know how to communicate with them, but she wants to change that about herself. Arata encourages her, and after exchanging phone numbers, they become friends. Arata injures himself during gym class, and Ryo explains that despite his youthful appearance, Arata's body is still biologically a 27-year-old man. Meanwhile, Chizuru follows Arata's advice and attempts to make friends by smiling more, but Rina misinterprets her forced smiles as mocking her. Rina discovers that, despite seeing Chizuru as an academic rival, Chizuru had no idea who Rina was, causing Rina's perceptions of both Chizuru and herself to be strained. Chizuru's continued attempts at smiling have the unintended consequence of lowering Rina's self-worth because she believes Chizuru's actions are motivated by spite. Rina reflects on how she measures her self-worth by her success, and how the previous year she felt both pride and happiness because she was the class representative alongside Kazuomi, for whom she has feelings. Rina begins to doubt herself after losing both the class representative position and her place at Kazuomi's side to Chizuru, and she grows angrier at Chizuru for thinking she is mocking her for her flaws. Chizuru, however, is unaware of Rina's feelings and confides in Arata that she feels that she and Rina are becoming friends. One night after staying late at school, Rina sees Chizuru has stayed late, so she steals her school bag in retaliation for her perceived mistreatment, and Arata catches her. As Arata attempts to stop her, they both fall down a flight of stairs. Arata awakens in the school infirmary following his and Rina's fall. Arata recalls a similar situation at a company he worked for where his senior was bullied by her co-workers because of their jealousy of her. Arata confronts Rina about her actions when she awakens, and Rina expresses her feelings of insecurity and frustration towards Chizuru. Arata encourages her not to descend to the level of harassing people she dislikes, but to remain a person who perseveres in order to obtain what she desires. After leaving, Arata meets Chizuru, who suspects Rina was trying to steal her bag, but could not think of a reason why. Arata confirms Chizuru's suspicions, and she decides to speak with Rina as she is leaving the school. Rina expresses her feelings for Chizuru and discovers that Chizuru never intended to degrade her and was only trying to be her friend. Rina apologizes and agrees to be Chizuru's friend after the confusion is cleared up, because Chizuru recognizes Rina as a rival. Kazuomi and An pay a visit to Arata's apartment for a study session because both Arata and An have consistently performed poorly on previous tests. When Kazuomi leaves too soon, An tells Arata that they met before and she fell in love with him at first sight. Ryo decides to check in on Arata using his cell phone, but when he discovers An and Arata are alone, he rushes to the apartment. Arata tries to kiss her, but he stops her just as Ryo arrives. Ryo chastises An for her actions, and she explains that she was only testing Arata and that she is Ryo's 27-year-old co-worker at ReLife Laboratory. An also explains she was supposed to be Arata's support person, but Ryo had to step into her role since she was not able to complete her training in time. An and Ryo both apologize for the trouble she caused, with Ryo secretly apologizing for lying about why he supports Arata. Ryou recalls supporting Subject 001 of the ReLife project as he writes his report on Arata's progress. Ryou's supervisors chastised him for becoming too involved in the subject's life, so he had to distance himself from the subject. At the time, he was asked to look for Arata to be Subject 002 in the ReLife project, potentially. Subject 001's results were deemed a failure after a year because the person in question had not changed at all. Discouraged by his failure to support Subject 001, Ryou is encouraged by An not to give up as Arata was selected to be Subject 002. Ryou had been assigned as his supporter. Ryou concludes his report by logging that despite Arata's struggles, he is progressing. Anoka and Arata put on makeup. Anoka gets through, but Arata does not. Rina defends Anoka when other volleyball players make fun of her. Anoka passes out after studying too hard for the makeup test. Unfortunately, this leads to Rina's accident, and their friendship suffers as a result. Chizuru recognizes a problem and consults with Arata. Talking about the problem forces Arata to confront his past mistake with Chizuru, and they plan to re-establish their friendship with Rina and Anoka. Akira and Nobu bring Rina and Kazuomi to listen to Anoka, Arata, and Chizuru's private conversation. Anoka explains why she chose Aoba High School. Chizuru discusses her past and encourages Anoka to speak with Rina. Rina flees before Anoka can speak with her. On the day of the match, Chizuru encourages Rina to participate. Rina finally agrees to participate. Rina and Anoka reconcile. They lose, but they have a good time. Arata confronts his past and pays a visit to his senpai's grave. Ryou plans a surprise for him. Arata explains the importance of love to Kazuomi in an indirect manner. Kazuomi rushes to Rina when she and Arata see a man with her. He discovers Rina had a heat stroke and that the man had assisted her. Rina is being walked home by Kazuomi. That night, he realizes he has feelings for Rina and seeks advice from everyone. He eventually decides how to proceed. Rina is invited to the summer festival by Kazuomi. Rina seeks advice from the other girls on her next steps. Rina requests Anoka and Chizuru's help in getting her and Kazuomi alone during the fireworks festival so she can confess her feelings to him. At the festival, Arata and Ryou, Chizuru, and the others split up to give Kazuomi and Rina some alone time, knowing that Kazuomi was also planning to confess to Rina. Ryou and An also ensure that Arata and Chizuru are alone together. Rina and Kazuomi confess their feelings for one another, and as the fireworks begin, Chizuru expresses her delight at meeting Arata. Chizuru recalls the events that have happened since the start of the school year, and before then when she met Ryou and became Subject 001 in the ReLife project. After the festival, Arata walks Chizuru home, realizing he has fallen in love with her, but deciding not to tell her because everyone he met in school will forget him once his ReLife ends. Instead, he promises Chizuru that he will never forget her, and she promises him that she, too, will never forget him. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this video.